Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in France, David de Rothschild has been indicted for embezzlement. This has actually opened the door not only from the personal investigation along with his cooperation of the investigation, but it has also included now an investigation into the Rothschild family bank and the bank that they've run this entire time. And we all know they've been dirty for a long time. In 1815 or thereabouts, in the Napoleonic War, there was a Nathaniel Rothschild who, if I remember right, had some dealing where he tried to do something for Napoleon, and it ended up basically blowing up in his face. So as long as there have been political schemes to hatch, there's been a Rothschild trying to control the financing and everything else. The story is a little bit older now, but from what I understand, it's still going on. David Rothschild, I believe, is still in some kind of detention facility, or probably at this point, he's probably home. But he was indicted for embezzlement. So anytime there's one of these big wigs that go away for an embezzlement charge, generally, it's, well, you've all seen the movies and stuff, there's 12 hookers that were dead or some crazy situation like that, a party that went cuckoo nuts, or one of their schemes went so far south that they're, facing genocide charges, and, when they come in, they say, hey, listen, we can make this go away. What can you give me? Oh, I can give you a little embezzlement charge. Oh, yeah, that'll work. And that's what they kind of decide on. So I believe this is actually a little bit older, especially when it says flashback files from the Free Thought Project. Rothschild Bank now under criminal investigation after Baron David de Rothschild's indictment. And this is actually going on. It's a little bit older now. I think this goes back to 2011. I think he's actually out of prison, and whatever his situation was, he's out now. But I forget what the actual situation was that he was surrounding before all this stuff went south. But I imagine he was facing something much worse than than an embezzlement charge. But Rothschild Bank now in a criminal investigation after Baron de Rothschild's indictment. So this is a big deal here. Last year, Baron David de Rothschild was indicted by the French government after he was accused of fraud in a scheme to allegedly embezzle large sums of money from the British pensioners. It's taken many years to bring this case against Rothschild and his company, the Rothschild Financial Services Group, which is now on record, which trapped hundreds of pensioners in a bogus loan scheme between 2005 and 2008. One of the pensioners lost their money and pressed charges against the notorious banker, beginning a case that would take many years to even get an indictment. In June, Paris-based liaison judge Javier Gomez Bermudez ruled that Rothschild must face a trial for his crime and ordered local police to seek him out in various mansions that are spread throughout the country. So from what I understand, this was actually done in France, even though his indictment was from Britain. But who knows where he was actually caught and everything. Basically it's saying it's, good step in the right direction. The courts are now in agreement with us that there is enough evidence to interrogate Baron Rothschild. First thing they'll have to do is find him. Well, they've already done that. This has been several years, so this has already happened. It's done. He's probably home. In fact, I highly doubt there was anything more than an ankle bracelet they put on him. It's not exactly like they would had actually put him in prison for like with regular people. So we're talking about David de Rothschild. Looks like Edmund de Rothschild has something going on with him. So looks like there's something going on with Edmund de Rothschild. Swiss SA is actively participating in criminal investigation underway. So why they switched from David de Rothschild to Edmund de Rothschild, I'm hoping they're two different people, but one could have one name in one place and another in another. So I don't know if he's basically using an alias or something like that, but it looks like this is a separate issue here in France. So I'm going to say that David de Rothschild's issue is in Britain. They caught him in Britain. And Edmund de Rothschild has an issue in France. That's what I'm going to go with this. So they've been locking these guys up supposedly like clockwork. They also got one of them for pornography. I reported on that a while ago. Rothschild Empire has been instrumental in helping move global elites' wealth from traditional tax havens of Bahamas, Switzerland, British Islands, among others. So this has been going on for a long time, folks, and this guy finally got it. And down here it mentions some of the historical things. I'm not going to mention it, but they mentioned during the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleonic War, Nathan Rothschild was responsible for one of the oldest cases of insider trading, which led to the Rothschild family robbing the whole nation blind in 1815, where Waterloo took place. Because you and I and everybody else want to hear that, I'm going to go ahead and show you this one here. And basically it says, took place, there were no quick methods of communication like we have today, so messengers were used for communication. Rothschild took advantage of this by having spies on the front lines of the battle who would return information to the family faster than the messengers in the military. When the British won the war, Nathan Rothschild was, of course, the first to know, and he immediately went to the stock exchange. This is actually a very famous case, and started selling stock while putting out rumor that the French had won the war. This created a panic, and the flood of stock exchange investors all over England began frantically selling their stocks. With the price of all the stock plummeting, Rothschild was able to buy out the whole English market for a fraction of the cost. This is actually what everybody knows to be real. So this is like one of their first super scams. So the very fact that this guy, David de Rothschild, has seen his day, Edmund de Rothschild has seen his day, Nathan Rothschild has seen his day. It is what it is, folks. Thank you.